Hello everyone, welcome back to a brand new video of Fox Reacts. Today we're checking out a new one from Loxton and Noggin, new evolutions for trade-only Pokemon. And I'll be honest, trade evolutions are, in my opinion, the worst thing Pokemon ever decided to add to the games. But let's see just what kind of concepts and forms Loxton and Noggin have created this time.
The year is 2096, and a little over 40 years ago, our connection to outside parallel worlds was destroyed.
This is
Previously,
interesting.
we used the power of this connection to give certain Pokemon heightened abilities, new evolutions. We would trade these Pokemon with trainers from the other side, from those other worlds. And then they'd evolve. And for one reason or another, only certain Pokemon were capable of this, and some needed to be traded simultaneously with another Pokemon, or simultaneously with a particular object or element in hand. We've since learned how to merge the power of these objects with those Pokemon to induce evolution, but since that connection itself was severed, no Pokemon who relied on its power solely has been able to evolve at all.
Okay, I'm intrigued now.
Until a discovery we made just a couple years ago. While researching ultra wormholes, Professor Lilith at the USURP released some sort of energy that now allows these Pokemon to evolve simply via experience. The same way most Pokemon evolve. However, they no longer evolve.
Actually, this kind of reminds me, in like Pokemon Insurgents, there was an underground area to where you could buy what was pretty much trade dust. To where you could just buy dust, and if a Pokemon would evolve via trading, you use the dust on it, and poof, that was it.
Into their previous trade-only forms. Rather, they evolve into wholly different Pokemon. And now I'm going to explain these new Pokemon and the theories as to why they appear the way they do.
Whatever you say, Doc, let's do this.
Or at least that is the in-universe, in-character introduction. Hello, I'm Loxton, regular Loxton here, not trying to act Loxton. We're working on a Fakemon region of sorts. More specifically, we're looking at the Greater Kanto area in the year 2096, several decades after a cataclysm of sorts changed everything.
I am intrigued.
The main question this all aims to answer is, what if Pokemon was a T-rated action JRPG?
What?
And the trickiest part of this mess is,
what?
of course, how can we make it cool and edgy without making it edgy?
Oh, I get you.
So a few of these
edgy,
new Pokemon we're going to show off today are
Got
a tad edgier than what I would ever expect Pokemon in its current form doing, but only barely. There's plenty of ROM hacks that go way over the top with this kind of thing, but I think there's a fun challenge in finding a balance between edgy and edgy. But anyway, not all of them are going to have that.
Many people like trying to find that challenge.
Plenty of these would work fine as regular
I'm doing the
Pokemon.
challenge.
So let's first look at my favorite example of trade evolutions. When trading Carablast with a Shelmet specifically, the two of them interact and evolve. I have a whole video about why this is the case here, but for now, notice how they trade details with each other. When Carablast evolves, it gains the armor and aesthetic of Shelmet, and when Shelmet evolves, it gains the stat distribution? Anyway, so what if they were to evolve without trading? What would they look like? I worked with the artist Elisteva76 to find out, and together
check out those Twiddles,
Bombidel and Munlans. And also, honestly, I'm very proud of my drawing of Bombidel. Look at this dork. This is the pinnacle of my drawing ability. So, without mixing, Shelmet would of course keep its armor, and Carablast wouldn't gain any, meaning it would go further into the Bombardier Beetle aspect of its design.
Oh, that's
Carablast's dex entry reads, when they feel threatened, they spit an acidic liquid to drive attackers away, which is exactly what Bombardier Beetles do. But where does it get the name Bombardier from? Well, from French bombard, meaning cannon. Bombardiers are those who fire cannons, and so we wanted to add in some French elements too.
And those are some big-ass wheels.
The French grenadier, who throws old-timey grenades when not stabbing and firing their old-timey guns.
This bit's
so
boom!
Bombidel is a sort of French-sounding name, while also being shaped like a classical bomb, with the fuse acting as a French moustache on top of that.
Yeah, it's
the
truly
pattern around its body resembles both how old-timey bombs would often be wrapped, as well as a more direct reference to grenadier uniforms themselves. In fact, Bombidel Rapidell's entire head is shaped like their hats even, and its face makes it
Well,
look
look
like
at
it's
that.
kind of a rude guy. I mean, it doesn't get to steal a shell anymore, which is a rude act already, but now it's all grumpy. Because it didn't get to steal a shell. And on the end of its cannon hands,
like a
you'll
thief
see
being
2
caught.
sharp bayonets. This mono bug type HP bulk of a mon learns all of the self-destruct type moves, obviously, as
Damn.
well as moves like Fire Blast, Acid,
Ooh.
X-Scissor, and even has an ability identical to Innards Out. In fact, it really could just be Innards Out, which is Pyukumuku's signature ability, where upon fainting, it deals damage to its opponents equal to the HP it had before fainting. Innards Out in the context of an explosion may be kind of gross though, so I could see it being called Volatile Body or something.
Straight up just
Plus,
call
then it
just
could be a
nickname
little
this
different,
the
perhaps
Boombox.
damaging all opponents in the explosion. Now,
Oh, let's take a moment. And we're back.
to keep its shell armor. It was surprisingly tricky, but we wound up with the bug steel type Munlans, a similarly very French-sounding name. Mulan is Old English for strong little warrior, and lance, or lance,
Oh, that's
is
cute.
lance in French. Lance. It's because its shell is shaped like a lance. But the French word lance is
That's
also
actually
how
really
one could
cute.
translate spear or harpoon, which is notable as that's what cone snails use to attack their prey.
You know what? I would
Snaily
definitely put that thing on my
harpoons,
team.
Or lances. And that's actually a part of what inspired these scarf-like appendages, actually. Snail sticky outy bits. Plus, it's a callback to a Selgor being completely wrapped up in similar-looking wrappings. The helmet has the classic snail spiral that's also on a Scavalier and Shelmet, and it's adorned with a similarly
That makes
spiraled
sense.
plume, resembling the fluffier sorts of plumes, common on the helmets of knights, especially while jousting with lances. And the helmet still has the
I'm
slits
sorry,
in it
I
like
kind of have
helmet,
hiccups
which
now.
of course resemble the breathing holes on most full-plate armor helmets,
Oh,
but the
that's
very
helpful.
front of it now resembles a frog-mouthed helm, especially fitting of the frogs, I mean the French. Though originally German, these
don't get
helmets
it,
were
but
used
I'm
throughout
laughing.
Europe as the helmets of choice during jousting tournaments, when 2 knights would run at each other on a horse with a big lance, and everybody cheers when one of them gets impaled. Lance won't be doing
Again,
any
sorry,
rapid
I got
running, though. I
hiccups
mean,
on
look
the
at its
break.
little feet, tiny legs, only barely
cute.
bigger than Shelmets, though they are shaped like a knight's falds, which is this part.
Oh, yeah. Huh.
Armor. But at least these
Kinda
legs
like a
let
hip
Mullans
couple.
wind up a little faster than a Scavalier, but only
Ooh.
barely. And also, if you haven't figured it out already, the name Mullans combines lance with mollusk. So those are the two that obviously
Obvious.
mix
I'm
when
sorry
traded
again.
with one another. I mean, they have to in order to
I'm gonna stop
evolve.
apologizing
But I've
now.
always liked the theory that some other Pokemon are intended to show a similar kind of thing going on. Like how both Geodude and Graveler are just kind of rocks, and then Graveler is a rock with 4
rock.
arms. Meanwhile, Machop and Machoke are just kind of strange reptile men
Muscle.
with 2 arms. But then you trade them, and now Graveler has only 2 arms and reptilian features as a golem, and Machoke gained extra arms as a Machamp. So now, question, what if we took those changes away
excuse me.
and had them evolve on their own? Well, they'd probably look a bit closer to their previous forms, right?
Yeah,
But before I show you
even
Machug,
look really cool.
before I
Why?
explain Machug, I have a trade to make myself with today's sponsor. Are you tired?
And we're back.
Impressive. Now then, this is Machug. Still
Please
mono fighting
explain.
and still macho like the rest of them, only this one chugs down loads of food to fuel its powerful core muscles.
Oh, so it's
The
more
gut.
like a
Have you seen
sumo.
strongman competitions? Those dudes are huge and 4
yeah.
C's
Yeah, okay, I
thick.
get
Extra thick! None of that beauty pageant bodybuilding
Nice.
stuff like Machamp.
Well,
And
now
you
I get
betcha
it.
Machug tackles like a train, yelling chugma, chugma, chugma the whole time.
Okay.
Chugga chugga choo choo. Game
Nice.
Freak, hire me. I can't draw, but I got ideas. Machop has a tail, and both
got
Machop
ideas,
and
but he
Machoke
does
have more
not
reptilian
draw.
snouts, and I guess they lose that when the power of trading switches some DNA stuff around. Golem stole the snoot, so here, Machug gets the snout and tail back. And all
Yeah,
of the
but
open
Machop
exposed
stole the
muscle
extra
on Machoke
arms.
has been filled in with more reptilian crests. Sort of like large
Ooh.
calluses building up on the wounds. Also,
like it.
interesting detail, Machoke has 5 toes while Machamp has 2.
Oh.
So we went with 3 here. And also the
Ooh,
darker
okay.
skin here resembles manly stubble. And on the wrists and head, it's like
Feel.
sweatbands. And further comparing bodybuilders with strongmen, the strongmen tend to wear a lot more because, you know, it's not a beauty pageant, and everyone
Yeah, they're
appreciates
not trying to
them
show
wearing all
off,
that.
though, just trying to...
So here we got full leg
you know,
tights and even covering a lot of the upper chest. And the big gut also resembles those spherical weights they lift at strongman competitions.
Oh yeah,
Atlas
the
weights,
concrete balls.
I think, comparing the two, I'd definitely say Machamp should definitely have more bulk, defense, and HP. Maybe even attack. While
Even
he's
I was
also
thinking of some
significantly
more attack,
slower
but-
and has literally no special attack
lower
to speak
speed
of.
because
Like
it's a
literally
lot
just
heavier.
2. New Pokemon with
Like
the
Machamp
lowest
is
special
designed to
attack,
be
period.
fast
Maybe special
punchable.
defense too. And this is Doncrete, see?
Oh.
An Italian mafia don, godfather mouth, mustache,
You know what? Now I get
arms,
it.
and hands included. Boom. Reference
it.
to an R-rated movie? How's that for mature? Edgy. It learns a lot of dark
is
type
nice.
moves too. Instead of just a geode or just a bunch of gravel, Doncrete is full-on Roman concrete,
Nice.
making the Italian mafia connection all the
Like,
better.
you come to me
Roman concrete
in
was the
day
backbone
my
of the Roman
debtor's
Empire.
hatch.
Concrete so sturdy and
To
enduring that many of their
dare ask
structures are
me
still
for
mostly
a
standing
favor.
today. The original recipe was lost
get
for
it.
a time, contributing to the many factors that caused more modern concrete to be significantly worse in terms of longevity. But now that it's been rediscovered,
okay.
a number of countries have been considering using it more often.
There we go.
It's just kind of expensive. One of the big differences, though,
Eh.
is that the old stuff tends to have a lot more pebbles and little rocks in it, as well as big chunks of old brick. Which is
Oh,
why
look at that.
Doncrete here has so many different colors all around its body.
So many
and
bricks
why
and
its arms,
stones.
fingers, and even
Get
main
it.
body are brick-shaped. It's an aggressive aggregate for sure. And one that'll leave you sleeping
really
with the
like
fishes
this.
the old-fashioned mafia way,
put this
tying
in
your
my
legs
team
to a
instead of
cinder block
Bolo.
and throwing you in the river. Doncrete's signature move, whack, which comes from the Italian mafia's word for killing, is a dual rock
tell ya,
dark
you gotta
type
whack
attack.
the guy up.
It'll pick which of the two
Oh
types
god,
deals
no,
the
that
most
doesn't
damage.
sound right.
But what the move doesn't
You
tell
gotta
you is
whack
that
the
its
guy, that's
power
all
is
it says,
increased
that
in
I'm
the
sorry.
rain, like a dreary body dumping scene in a movie. And Doncrete's signature ability, Dark Mind, which gives it the immunity to psychic type attacks as if it were dark type. But it's not dark type. How extra devious, yeah. And now then, while
like
that
it.
last one was a bit edgy, it wasn't super edgy or anything. But this next one is something I
was
know
good.
Game Freak would
It
never
was good.
actually do because its origins are far too morbid. So, upon trading,
Here we go.
Haunter gains a full body, legs, tail, and all. So perhaps without the power of trading, Haunter is never able to really fully achieve this, though it wants to. Perhaps this leaves it in a middling state, where
Like
its
what?
arms and the inner part of its torso develops, but not the rest of it.
Ooh.
This is Dongal. Vampiric, ghastly fangs
Dongal.
and wings, demon
Nice.
eyes and horns, a huge split yokai tongue, and sopping wet with spectral
Name
ectoplasm.
that thing.
What appears to be
Dracula.
dangling guts, which is a part
Ooh,
of its name.
gross but awesome.
Dangle, Dongal. But what else is there? Well, the names of the wicked ghosts it's
Yep,
pulling
here we go.
from. 3 similar spirits from Southeast Asia, mainly Malaysia
Saying this now. Gore warning! If you are watching this, there is a gore warning. Skip.
and the Philippines. There's the Dila, a horrific bat-like creature with human guts dangling below it.
That's
The
interesting.
Manananggal, a vampire-like creature that resembles a human until it sprouts wings and splits its body in half,
Oh, yeah, I
guts
remember
falling
about
to
that.
the floor. She feasts on the unborn,
You want to
preying
defeat
on
it? Just
pregnant
sprinkle some
women
garlic
and
powder on its
consuming
lower
the
half.
hearts of their fetuses. And the Penangalan, the disembodied
Huh.
head of a woman with all her organs still trailing behind.
That one kind of
Keep
just
the head
seems
alive, you see.
pathetic.
She too preys upon the unborn and even young children, and she leaves behind a trail of sparkly, ghostly light and an even longer trail of vinegar smell. Is Southeast
Vinegar.
Asia okay? Who came up with this? Also, I probably butchered those pronunciations. Like many ghost-type Pokemon's
probably no better
Pokédex
than
entries,
most people.
Dongal's mentions its affinity
Unless
for
they're
kids and
native.
even baby Pokemon, and its ability, infanticide. lets all of its attacks deal bonus damage if the Pokemon being hit is not fully evolved. How much bonus damage?
Powerhouse.
That I don't know. I am not a balancing expert, I'm a lore guy. But the last of the Gen 1 Pokemon was easily the hardest to come up with a new evolution for. Abracadabra Alakazam. That's like a thing. It's a thing that magicians say. And also, the Pokemon don't really change much between Kadabra and Alakazam. Like, ooh, you lost your tail and you gained a spoon. Spoon! Actually, come to think of it, Gengar gains a tail. Did it take it from Kadabra? Does Haunter secretly have a spoon? Okay, without the power of trait evolution, our new Kadabra Evo needs to keep the tail. And maybe not
damn it. We got an ad, folks.
spoon.
Hold on.
Well.
We're back.
Well, we took a note from Mega Alakazam and came up with this. Ajimaji. You see, Ajimaji is like the only other classic magic word in the world that doesn't sound lame, like Magikazam, Hocus Pocus, you know, lame stuff like that. But it works out, because it's the same number of syllables, and it still rolls well. Abracadabra Ajimaji, which is a Persian word, and it means, Alakazam. Or abracadabra.
Whoa.
It's a magic word. Anyway, it's sitting down and all about its meditation, just like Mega Alakazam. Only instead of Mega Alakazam's big bushy beard, here it gets a big bushy tail and brings in various magic and psychic symbols into its design. The shape of its tail is that of the Hamsa, a symbol on amulets of protection, especially protection from the evil eye and psychic attacks.
Alright, that's
and
wonderful.
The hand with the swirl on it is known as the Shaman's Hand, or Healer's Hand, a symbol of protection and a talisman of good health.
Kind of
the
weird,
pattern
but
around its
fingers.
ever-closed eyes resembles the Eye of Horus, similarly a symbol of health and protection, and the bacon from Kadabra's groin is now glowing on Ajimaji's tail. And those, along with Kadabra's star, are symbols from Zener cards. Cards which are used to test a person's psychic ability. And lastly, Ajimaji wields a single spoon-shaped walking stick, or staff, akin to those wielded by sorcerers and shamans. Also, not
hey,
unlike
can I get
Mewtwo
some ice cream?
in the
Only a
manga.
spoonful.
Why did
Giant
they think Mewtwo needed
spoon.
a big spoon in the manga? Now, given all of these symbols of protection in its design, you may have already guessed what kind of Pokemon it is. While regular Alakazam is all about its special attack and speed, Ajimaji is all about special defense and HP. It can learn all of the many psychic-type healing moves and defense buffs. And its ability, Protective Aura, sets up a light screen upon it entering the battlefield.
Ooh,
good stuff.
Nice.
And with Gen 1 done, let's skip ahead to Gen 6. Honestly, Gen 6's trait evolutions don't really need to be trait evolutions, right? It's a pumpkin.
I mean, kind of, yeah.
Now it's a bigger gourd. It's a ghost tree spirit. Now it's a bigger ghost tree spirit. They still work and look good and add plenty of elements, but there's nothing like different enough to justify them being trade evos, in my eyes. But then again, the same can be said of Alakazam and Gengar, so like, I don't know. But what could we really even do differently? Well, with the mysterious power of trait evolution completely gone, these Pokemon were left waiting and waiting in their basic forms. The release of the new energy discovered by Professor Lilith did eventually lead all of the rest of them to gain new forms, new evolutions, but one of them did manage to find a new evolution on its own, waiting around as a basic Pumpkaboo, sitting there, unevolving.
I'm sorry, I had to. That's cute.
Decades. Something eventually awoke inside Pumpkaboo.
What happened?
The spirits that its Pokédex says it keeps in its pumpkin body have grown restless and more powerful.
Like a
and
spirit
they spring out like a virus and take over the body of Pumpkaboo, causing it to evolve into Gorgoos. Gorgoos are always found in large swarms. As once a single Pumpkaboo evolves, it's now able to bite onto other Pumpkaboo and cause them to evolve instantaneously too.
Okay, that's kind of...
It's a zombie pumpkin, guys. It's a rotting corpse of a dying jack-o'-lantern, like the jack-o'-lanterns you leave on your porch. It's December, it's still there. Oh, it's gross. Like, you pick up the top of the pumpkin and the bottom of the pumpkin stays on the ground and it's gross. It's also just like that creepy, jawless zombie trope. And here's a fun thing. If you have a Gorgoos in your party and you also have a Pumpkaboo in your party, that Pumpkaboo evolves. Gorgoo's twisted
Wait, how?
pumpkin vine-like legs can
I mean, I
stretch
get it
real
bites on,
far,
but
allowing
you just
it to
like take a
climb
step and then
and run at
spontaneously.
rapid speeds, like zombies crawling up the sides of a building. But also, like
Neat.
zombies, it's kind of,
Dumb.
really, really weak to physical attacks. I mean, it's rotting. It's literally falling
okay.
apart in front of you. It's like you knock its head off with a gentle breeze. As
And
for the
that's
name
it.
Gorgoo's, it's straightforward. It's a gourd, resembling gore. It's a ghoul, and it oozes its pumpkiny insides.
I mean, look at that.
Maybe
That's
its
all
spindly
by the
vines
so
resemble the
obvious.
snakes on a gorgon head. And there's also gargoyles. There's a lot of, like, creepy stuff with these kinds of syllables,
It's a lot of
you know?
gall.
Phantom.
Ooh, here
One
we go.
trope I love in zombie media is the badass preacher with a gun thing. Like,
Nice.
maybe they tried holy water first. Sploosh. Oh, it didn't work.
Sploosh.
Bring out
Oh,
the
that's
shotguns.
gone. Bring out the
Also,
shotgun.
it feels like every other T-rated JRPG has a stand-in for the Catholic Church or just evangelical organized Western religion in it.
True.
And they are always
They all
the
do.
villain because, like, I mean, so this is Canon
Ooh.
Priest. It's got a big
I
canopy
love it.
now, as it's an upside-down trevenant that's sort of an old forest god cult leader with elements of like a crown,
I love
priest
it.
hat,
Look at this.
priest sash, devil horns. It's got real big false prophet vibes, and is definitely inspired by the Devil's Tree in New Jersey. Said itself to be a
What's that?
portal to hell, and it looks dead, but it's not. And it's warm year-round. And
What's
the
a
other big
Devil's
inspiration,
Tree? I've
have
never
you
heard
heard
of
of
that.
the mansion tree?
And again, I do live
Its
in
sap
Texas.
is extremely toxic, and those toxic compounds get into its leaves and fruit.
Uh-oh.
And even just sitting under this tree to avoid the rain is dangerous, as a raindrop that trickled down one of its leaves and then onto your skin will cause your skin to blister and burn, like what
Jeez.
holy water does to unholy creatures. With
Boom.
its signature move, Hallow, when something is hallowed, it is made holy, it will squeeze its own fruit in its hand and then swing its arm, scattering acidic droplets of juice all around, like a shotgun blast.
I see
It's
now.
a dual ghost grass type attack that has a chance of causing a burn.
Ooh.
Unique for a grass move.
Oh,
And
wait,
honestly,
why a
I
bond?
just
You could've put
really,
on
really love
poison.
its face. Look at that face.
You could have done poison.
I
That
love
would have
ghost
fit.
plants.
No,
All
I
right,
guess
two left.
Bond
The Gen
wasn't
5
well.
Trademon.
You know, that's sitting in all
So,
Bond.
Roggenrola and Bulldor to
Oop,
giggle
hold on.
with.
Add. And we're back.
So this goes from like a pile of some rocks with speaker ears to a rocky creature with a head. It sort of gains this head and eyes when it's traded. So let's go the other way. Let's
guess
go
it
even
does kinda-
further into it's just a pile of rocks with some speaker elements. This is
Ooh.
Boombox. Yeah, easy
Damn.
name. We're going all in with the spiky speakerness. It's like an
That's
anechoic
kind of
chamber which
crazy.
absorbs all sound, or it's a super stalagmite cave. And both this line and bats live in caves and have massive ears, so it's
Oh.
got some ugly bat ear inspiration thrown in,
See
which
now.
is also
Look at that
similar to
thing.
these proto-radars. Before radar technology, these were used to detect incoming aircraft.
That
What
is
a job.
so
Hello, what do you do for a
fucking
living? Oh, I
stupid.
have giant ears. Now, notably, I totally get not liking this design. It doesn't really look like anything at first glance. It's just like some crystals and rocks in the vague shape of a boombox, but I feel like that's a part of its charm, and also not much
Maybe.
different from Bulldor. It's also just kind of a pile of rocks, but it's supposed to be weird.
I think
it's
it could
silicon-based
have more
life.
done to it,
Totally
but
different
this is
from the
fine for
biology
now.
of everything we know of. It's an object-mon through and through, blasting sound-based attacks around it in all directions, and even capable of floating short distances by vibrating its speakers at a high enough frequency that it rides along the sound waves.
Okay, that's not bad.
Look, if Mr. Mime can make barriers by vibrating, this isn't too far-fetched. And lastly,
Huh.
Timber, Girder, and Conkeldurr. Construction worker
Nice.
carnies with gross flesh blobs. One big difference between Girder and Conkeldurr are their heads. We got
Oh, yeah,
gross,
like
fleshy
that.
clown hair, and then
Honk, honk.
balloon animal butt head. So let's keep with the clown hair for this new Evo, and let's
I
go
would've
in
thought,
another
like,
direction
clown
with it.
ponytail.
Demolition instead of construction.
Ooh.
Just as important, really. But what's the big new addition? Well, how about some proboscis monkey elements? The line already has some
Oh, yeah,
gross
like that
lumps
whale
and
nose.
proboscis, guys. This is Dismander. A big, strong trope of a carny
Look at
strong
that.
man carrying a wrecking ball. It destroys and
got a tail.
dismantles things, hence the name. And
This
also,
is actually a
it's
really
a comedic
nice one.
relief Pokemon akin to Wobbuffet, and why not? Why? Why not?
Oh. Loxton. No.
And remember,
No.
in Japanese, Wobbuffet's name translates to "that's the way it is," which explains it popping up all the time in the anime. Its name is a joke.
I like it.
That's the way it is. So same here. Oh no, we're trapped under a bus. Who's going to help?
This man!
But who could we really trust with something like this,
Oh
Doctor?
no.
This man!
Oh hey, you want to go to the comedy club? There's this new comedian in town and he just riffs on the audience members.
Oh really? What's his name? This man!
It is definitely the kind of Pokemon that just
This
shows
man.
up
Oh, I
randomly in
love
the anime
that
to
one.
scream
That was a
part
good
of its
joke.
name. And plus, this whole line of Pokemon is already like the butt of plenty
Make
of
that
jokes,
actually
by
like
which
the
I
Mega
mean it's a
Evolution.
popular one to hate.
Look at
They're
that.
ugly, and nobody likes them. So lean into that and make them funny. Plus, you know, carnies, they're supposed to be funny. This all makes perfect sense to me.
Carnies,
And
clowns,
also, the pink parts on this
circus.
line are supposed to resemble like bulging veins, right? So Dismander's tail and nose and Fine. Well,
let's
the
not
nose
think
and
about
huge
it.
eyebrow ridge
Let's
is
not think
supposed to give
about
it big Russian strongman kind of look, as that's a big part of the trope.
yeah, okay,
hence
I get it. I see
TF2's
it now.
heavy even.
Sandwich make me strong!
And the large
Nice.
ridge of Soda Popinski and this dude who's real,
Huh.
I guess.
Soda Popinski.
So, Dismander,
Otherwise known as the
Boombox,
original
Canon
Bud
Priest,
Boskin.
Gorgoose,
Crap, I don't
Ajimaji,
remember now.
Dangal, Machug, Doncrete, Munlans, and Bombidel. All new
Nice.
non-trade evolutions for Pokemon who could previously only evolve via trading. I think we did a pretty alright job here, especially with some of the edgier aspects. But what do you think? Let
Yeah,
me know
they're
down
not
below,
bad.
and until next time, you never stop using your noggin. And I hope you enjoy this project of Pokemon Legends Neo Getsis. It's a mouthful.
This
Nice.
man!
Alright, well folks, that is what we're going to leave off today's video. So, I want you all to remember to like, comment, and subscribe for more. Down in the description will be a link to the original video, so remember to support the original creator on all they do, and I'll see all of you folks next time. Peace out.